So welcome, thanks for coming.
Thank you very much, yes.
So you've been to SIFF before?
I have. I've been a lot of times here.
Excellent.
Because we did Hairspray here. We checked, we previewed Hairspray before it opened on Broadway here.
Nice.
And then I've been at this festival many times. I've come to see it as a patron also.
How's Broadway treating you?
Broadway's great. We got 4 Tony nominations for Crybaby, which just is opening. I'm presenter on the Tony Awards in 2 weeks.
Excellent. So Cecil be Demented. Why Cecil be for your...
Well, I picked it just because, I think everybody's seen Pink Flamingo. There's some of them I think maybe people haven't seen it as much. It's one of my favorites I've done, and I always like the later stuff, and because the other ones I think everybody's seen so many times, they're so readily available. Pink Flamingo shows on television now, uncut. How that's possible, I don't know, but it does. And if you look at Cecil B. Demented, we had like so many people in it before they were stars, like Maggie Gyllenhaal, Adrian Grenier, Michael. There was a lot of people in it that went on to, be big stars.
If you were to have one magic wish, what would you change in cinema right now?
What would I change in the cinema? Well, the hard thing is that it's harder and harder to get independent films made. I would want to have more hits every year because people aren't going to them as much. It's, luckily we have a Little Miss Sunshine or a Juno, a movie that makes a lot of money because without for them, the screen average of the grosses of independent films is pretty dismal. So it's a harder time. People don't go to movies anymore, but although they do go see art films, weirdly enough. Where I live in Baltimore, in the city, there's only 4 movie theaters left, but they're all art theaters. There's no regular theaters left. There's 1 porno theater for the people that are too poor for DVDs.
So in the city, there's not
no.
The chain?
There's art theaters. There's Landmark theaters. There's the Charles Theater. There's the Senator Theater. But they're mostly play art films, which is weird in a way because when I was young, there were no art films. So it's weird. There certainly is an audience for it. But as you know, Netflix, and I love Netflix. They produced one of my movies, so I can't complain about them. But I'm always amazed that young people show me that they can watch a movie on their iPhone. For porn, I get, but other movies, I don't get it.
Yeah, portable porn.
Yes, well, any porn is, or my films look better littler.
You were interviewed in, it was called Fabulous, the story of queer cinema.
I'm in every documentary. I am a documentary whore. Have you ever seen a documentary I'm not in the last 10 years? I'm in every one of them, yeah.
You said you wanted new filmmakers, and presumably gay filmmakers, but in general, to surprise you. Has anything in the last few years surprised you? Or really?
I don't care if they're gay or not filmmakers. To me, gay is not enough. It hasn't been for a while. It's a good start. A movie that I really love was called Love Songs, this French movie, where they just started singing, and for no reason when it's about death and people committing suicide and stuff. I love that movie, really a lot. I like to be surprised when I see movies. Certainly, I think the best underground movie in years was that one called Tarnation. And that was, I don't think that's been surpassed sort of as what a real underground movie should be. I still see everything in theaters. I never watch DVDs or videos. And I go to see them. If I don't see them in the theater the week it opens, I never see them.
At all?
Never, usually. Well, I do when I'm in the academy, so they send me those tapes. Right. And I try to be fair and look at some of them, but I don't think I've ever voted for one. I always know the ones I would like and have seen them already.
Right. What would you, well, apart from this Broadway overtaking that you've made, what do you have sort of coming up cinematically that we should be?
Well, hopefully I'm going to make some winter movie. It's a terribly wonderful children's Christmas adventure called Fruitcake that I tried to make last year, but I'm hoping to shoot it in November. It's mostly children in the cast, and Johnny Knoxville's the father. And so that's coming up, and I'm writing a book called Role Models for Farr, Straus and Grow that I'm working on. I have a TV show I can't talk about yet that's coming out. And I have 2 Broadway shows, and I tour doing my speaking thing a lot, so that's enough, isn't it?
More than most will see. Without calling out anybody particular, what would you want to see the end of cinematically?
The end of? Nothing. I mean, I'm not a big fan of romantic comedies, but every once in a while there's a good one. Love Songs was a romantic feel-bad movie. I love romantic feel-bad movies. I don't know if science fiction's good or not. I'm not a buff on that, so I've never even seen Star Wars, so I don't know if it's good or bad, because it's a genre I don't get. But I don't mind seeing movies I don't like. I mean, you learn just as much from seeing a movie you hate as one you like. There's no such thing as a waste of time going to a movie for me if you're a filmmaker.
What would you recommend that you've seen in the last month?
My favorite movie, it's in your festival, it's called Before I Forget. It's a French movie about how terrible it is to be old and gay, and it's really funny, but it's made by a gay filmmaker. It's the most depressing, feel-bad gay movie I ever saw in my life. It's really good.
Love that. A good feel-bad movie. What would you...
And I think, my favorite movie last year was Quentin Tarantino's Grindhouse. Both of them together, I thought it was great. What did I see recently I really liked? I'm trying to think. I write them all down. I've written down every movie I've ever seen since I've been 16 and rate them that nobody sees. Oh, I know. My Winnipeg. I'm really a fan of, very much a fan of all those movies that he made. Guy Madden.
Guy Madden. That's actually playing at SIFF Cinema after Festival.
It is? Oh, it's a great movie. Really great movie.
Cool. If you were given the opportunity to redo something from the early days of your filmography, would you? And if you would, what would you do?
No, I wouldn't redo any of them because it would be old material. I do look at my films and see what I don't like rather than what I do like. It's usually cut, make it shorter, make it shorter. Now they have to stop me. All my movies would be 10 minutes long. No comedy should be more than 90 minutes. I hate long jokes. There's no such thing as something that's funny and long. And there really isn't. And so I probably would shorten them all. I think director's cuts always should be shorter, not longer.
I'm always impressed when they're about 4 hours long.
Well, you have to put something in to make it, the only time I think it worked, the director's cut of Crybaby, I think, because I put in some scenes that we took out just because they didn't test well, and then when we took them out, they didn't test any better. So I had to put them back in.
Excellent. If you were to offer advice for a new filmmaker, what would you tell them? Gay or straight?
I would tell new filmmakers to make sure that you pay for your music, because I didn't, and it caused me great trouble. What happens is if kids use all their friends crazy in the movie, all their friends, all their crazy crew, and then they put a Beatles song in it. And then what happens is that the distributor wants to pick up your movie and they see it and then find out that you haven't paid the music rights, which each song is about $20,000 each, average, I'd say, for worldwide rights, and they won't distribute it. Put your crazy friends music in it too and get a release.
So the distributors won't pick up the tab?
Rarely. I mean, well, if they were going to give you an advance for the movie, they won't then, because they'll make that advance go to pay the music rights that you didn't pay. So music's very expensive. So if you're going to use it, and every time a needle drop, it costs. You can't play the song 4 times. You get to play it once. Next time it's 40,000, 60,000, 80,000. I mean, so really learn that. And I made a great mistake on that. I mean, Mondo Trash Show movie I made will never come out now because I'll never be able to pay for those music rights that were never paid for.
What's the music from? Where did you get the music from?
My old record collection, yeah, but the thing is you have to have the rights to those records. That's something, I'm not sure I even knew that when I made that movie.
Sure.
I know it now, and you should know it now if you're making movies, because it will come back to haunt you.
Cool.
Okay, thank you.